about those ideas. So now we're going to talk about real estate here. We're going to talk about, let's start off with rentals, for example. Rentals are probably easier to get into, to get started in, if you haven't done any real estate investing and you're considering, should I flip houses first or buy rentals houses? I would say probably buying rentals is going to be a little bit easier because the flexibility for mistake is bigger. So if you were to buy a fix and flip, hypothetically, and you purchased it wrong, meaning there's so many different ways that you can purchase a fix and flip wrong. One, you determine what you can sell it for, and that's inaccurate. And because it's inaccurate and it's less than what you think, when you go to turn around and sell it, you're actually not going to sell it for as much as you thought. You're going to potentially lose money there. So one, you overpay on the property because you think that you can sell it for more. But unfortunately, mistake number one, you overpaid on a property you can't sell for as much, and now you lose money. So there's one way of buying it wrong. The second way of buying it wrong is, let's just say you get it accurate on what you could sell it for. So you're like, I think I could sell it for this. And let's just say that's accurate. However, you feel that you could fix the house up in 3 months for X amount of dollars. And that house ends up taking you 6 months and an increased X amount of dollars. So now you're more money into the property, you're longer into it, and the reason why longer is expensive is because most likely you're probably using some hard money loan to finance this particular purchase, and that hard money loan is a very expensive monthly payment. So the longer you have this, the more increased your monthly costs. Then you also have utilities, all the holding costs that come with fixing and flipping, plus now you underestimated the repair budget. And now you've gone over on that repair budget, and the next thing you know, you sell it for what you thought you could, but because you spent more on the fix-up itself and you held it longer, you lose money, right? And a lot of people that end up making, these similar mistakes on a fix and flip end up refinancing out of the hard money loan, or if they already had a conventional loan, then they just keep it because they don't want to lose the money. So they keep it and keep it as a rental. But now you're a landlord on accident, right? And now your money's tied up into that particular property, so it prohibits you from going out and doing another fix and flip. In many cases, depending on who you are, you might have extra cash that you have available to you that you can just carry on. But a lot of people will then keep these properties as rentals unexpectedly and on accident because there's just less forgiveness on fix and flips. However, with a rental, let's just say you hypothetically overpay a little bit, or you over improve and spend a little bit more than you thought. Well, you're not selling this anyway. Your initial investment in here was long-term anyway, and time heals all wounds, right? So if you overpaid for a home, I actually had a friend who was on this show. He ended up purchasing a fourplex, and this is the perfect example. Really respected investor, invited him on the show, and this is a conversation outside of our show. He ended up finding a fourplex that was for sale in the perfect area for him, whatever area that was. I didn't even ask him, but he just said the perfect area, right? And he wanted to own this fourplex super, super bad based off of its location. And I said, oh, that's fantastic. I said, how did you find it? Did you get a good deal? And he said, well, I paid market value for it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, because pay market value for it, I still am positive. I'm not negative, I'm not even, I'm still positive cash flow. Not maybe as much as I would have liked being able to buy an undervalued fourplex. I paid market value for it, but I'm positive. Or I'm positive cash flow, right? So I'm positive on the monthly mortgage. He goes, but the reality is, this is the perfect area. So I could really care less because time heals all wounds. And in 30 years, when this fourplex is free and clear, this fourplex alone can support the cash flow from this fourplex alone, once it's free and clear, can support my lifestyle at that particular time. And 30 years from now, 30 years from now, his home will be free and clear. The one he lives in will be free and clear. Everything will be paid off. Most likely his kids will have moved on. His expenses on a daily basis 30 years from now, he anticipates, are going to be minimal. He won't have a house payment anymore. He won't have a car payment anymore unless he goes and buys another car 30 years from now. He anticipates that his lifestyle 30 years from now is going to be a free and clear lifestyle. And he has lots of investments. And if all those investments are also free and clear, then he's going to live a really, really lavish retirement. But the fact that his example was this fourplex alone would be able to support his lifestyle. So he's like, time heals all wounds. Yeah, I didn't get the best deal on it, but I don't care because I got the area that I wanted. And in 30 years, who cares what I paid for it 30 years ago, because now it's free and clear and I'm loving life because this cash flow from this one unit supports my lifestyle, right? That's a very good example of how lenient buy and holds can be if you overbuy, over-improve. Who cares, because you're going to hold it a long time anyway. In 30 years when it's free and clear, you're not going to worry about that anymore. And in fact, there are a lot of investors that we had another investor, I believe it was 2 weeks ago on the show, and he had brought up a good comment. He said, if I look at most of the houses that I purchased the first couple years when I became a real estate investor, buy and hold, those first few investments, knowing what I know now, if I look back, I probably wouldn't have bought them because I just know more on a better way to buy. Back then, he didn't know a better way to buy. He wasn't buying creatively. He bought traditionally, and he bought, probably full price, and there wasn't a lot of appreciation. He didn't get a great deal. And so he says, yeah, looking back now, knowing what I know now, and I can find good deals, I probably wouldn't have bought any of those. But you know what? I still have them all anyway because they're significantly paid down. The mortgage payment stayed the same, more or less. I mean, taxes and insurance can raise it at a very minimal price, but rents have gone up dramatically. So his cash flow's improved. Time heals all wounds. So I would say rentals is definitely going to be a more lenient way to get started. So if